Holy is the ultimate gamer. He's earned that name.
Holy One.
A great guy, and his videos are fantastic.
What's to do, YouTube? It's Holy One, and these are going to be my top 10 worst games of 2023 and games you should avoid like the plague. So let's start this list off. Piece Odyssey. Now, Piece Odyssey was released on Steam and other platforms. I'm not a huge One Piece fan, but the last one you guys know I put on my top 10 most disappointing list. This game is trying to make One Piece a turn-based RPG and fails miserably at it. Not only are the art style and aesthetics and visuals subpar, the turn-based style and gameplay is not great whatsoever. And on top of that, the game is a full $60 price tag. So what they're doing with this game is yet another One Piece cash grab game. I would highly recommend to stay away from this game, as it is absolutely not worth any price you can pay for it, and the story alone is mediocre at its best, and One Piece fans would vomit at the very sight of this game's story. At number 9, we have Fourspoken. Now, not only is the story in this game subpar, mediocre, and the main character is completely boring, bland, and trying to be a strong woman, this character visually looks great on PC. However, the visuals take a substantial downgrade on PS5 to the point of the game running at 720p with massive stutters. The combat in the game is somewhat all over the place, and it's giving me Final Fantasy 15 vibes with how clunky the combat can be and being all over the place. A lot of casuals say the game looks pretty and is nice when you're running around shooting things all the time, but I feel like it's just not there as a game in itself. And not only is the writing bad, the story's bad, the combat is subpar. The only saving grace for this game you could say is the visuals, but if you play on the PS5 version of this game, the visuals are just not at it. So this game is not worth playing, and it's unfortunate that this game released in such a sorry state that the developing studio even closed it down. At number 8, we have Crash Team Rumble. So this was supposedly a sequel or a spin-off of the previous Crash Rumble game that came out way back on the PS1 that was a team 4-player game. However, this game has limited maps, limited gameplay. Most of the time you're playing in lobbies with bots or AIs. The online is dead. Nobody's playing the game. The visuals and the art style are subpar at best, and it doesn't even look as good as Crash 4. And overall, launching this game at a $60 price tag when it should have been easily a $30 or $40 game is just not there. This game, well, actually, I think the game released at $40. Regardless, whatever the price is, this game is not worth playing. Nobody's playing it. It is just a garbage multiplayer and a terrible Crash spin-off game. At number 7, we have Destiny 2 Lightfall. Now, Destiny released The Witch Queen, which was a very substantial update that a lot of fans were liking. However, since they took a lot of the meat and potatoes and put it into that DLC, when they released Lightfall, which is probably the worst DLC of content I've ever seen, that now that Bungie is having so many development issues with the studio that they're extending Lightfall, it's just caused the Destiny 2 player base to completely fall off the game itself. Bungie is going through hard times, and them just needing to be restructured. At this point, Destiny 2 just needs to be put to rest. The game needs to be dropped, and they need to release either the third game or release their next title, because Destiny 2 at this point has limited to no content coming out at this point, and the game is literally just a walking corpse of what it once was. At number 6, we have EXO Primal. As you guys would say, it is another Game Pass fodder title. EXO Primal, though it had a good idea of a dinosaur shooting game with playing with cooperative partners, what the game unfortunately suffers from is some poor visual quality. The gameplay is repetitive, limited maps, limited objectives, and a lot of times I have to be waiting in a long lobby unless crossplay is on to find a match, and limited character selection. So the game just in itself is extremely repetitive. It gets boring after the first couple of hours of gameplay. So if y'all have Game Pass, you can play for free and try it out yourselves. However, I don't expect to sink a lot of time into this game, as it is not that compelling to keep playing it. At number 5, we have Fort Solis, or as I like to call it, Soulless. This game is literally a cash grab. Visually, it looks great. However, it's trying to be a walking simulator, but does everything wrong. Not only does the game have horrible performance, the story is absolutely lackluster and boring as hell. And the game in itself doesn't even have a good story whatsoever that it's trying to base itself off of. So completely avoid this walking simulator. At this point, I would recommend a game that even I consider that I don't like Death Stranding, to be a substantially better game than this garbage. So avoid Fort Solis. At number 4, we have Redfall. Now, y'all knew Redfall was good, be on my list. I have a mixed bag with Arcane's game releases. I didn't like Dishonored 1. I liked Dishonored 1. I didn't like Dishonored 2. I liked Prey. And since I liked Prey, I thought Redfall might actually be a cool game to play. However, I was extremely wrong. Not only does the game have bugs, glitches, it runs poorly. Despite the substantial updates they've released for the game to this point, it's still a soulless, empty hub world of a game where there's literally nothing to do. Even if you get online with friends, it is just a boring, bland game. It is just soulless. At number 2, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Remake or Remastered. So I got this game when I got my PlayStation 5 Slim, and boy, was it horrible. Not only is the multiplayer completely broken, even more so than when the original Modern Warfare 3 came out, being completely overrun and exploited by campers, the campaign in itself is trash. The campaign is about 2.5 hours you can beat it. And it's just a sandbox open area based off Call of Duty's Warzone mode that they condensed and shrunk down to put in the campaign, completely ruining what the original Modern Warfare 3 was. This game spits on the face of the original Modern Warfare 3, and you should absolutely not buy this game whatsoever. At number 1, the worst game of 2023 is the Lord of the Rings Gollum. Not only did this is probably the worst running game on all platforms, but it is completely feels like a PS2 looking game visually. The gameplay is horrendous. There's no objective or point to playing this game. It is probably one of the most broken and worst games I've ever played in my life. Do not buy this game. If someone gives it to you, just light a fire to it and destroy it. Alright, that's going to wrap up my video for my top 10 worst games of this year, guys. Let me know what yours are in the comment section below. This is your boy, Holy One. Ow!